meets mind, we ponder, we dream. Pixels and philosophies merge.
A while back, I came up with this. I thought it was a killer idea, an absolute killer startup idea. And it was around the time when I was writing a lot about how we have basically given up our judgment to the crowd. We used to be able to be discerning on our own. We used to be able to make decisions on our own. And we prided ourselves on making decisions on our own. But then we became Homonexis. And if you ask me, this is where we are today. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what is Homonexis? Well, you're familiar with Homo sapiens. That's thinking man, right? Well, I came up with the term Homonexis, which basically means connected man. And if you think about it, connected man is a bit like the Borg from Star Trek. They're basically individual bots. However, they're all interconnected to each other through some kind of wireless network. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi, I don't know if it's 5G or what. And they communicate as a unit. Each unit itself does not have its own mind, its own brain. Everything is interconnected with other units. So when it comes to decision making, the decisions are made by the collective, not the individual unit. And I thought it was interesting that in Star Trek of the 80s, that this is what ended up, these guys ended up being the bad guys. The collective was the bad guy, right? And of course, maybe the collective is the good guy now, but I'm not going to talk about politics. I don't talk about politics today. So in the old Star Trek shows, the collective was bad, but let's say the collective is here today and we have become Homonexis. And if we have truly become Homonexis, then we do not make decisions ourselves any longer. If you think about it, a lot of times we never make decisions if we don't get input from people we know, our social network. So I came up with this idea. It was a fashion app called Does This Go? And the way it would work is that you would go into, let's say you were trying on an outfit. So you're trying on an outfit and you go into the change room and you put your outfit on and you take a picture of yourself with this outfit on. And basically what it would do is it would send a note out to all of your friends asking, does this go? Is this a good outfit? Do you like this outfit? And what would happen is that within a few seconds, everybody in your social network would look at the outfit and be able to vote thumbs up or thumbs down as to whether or not this was an outfit that suited you. And then in the end, you could either decide to go with what the collective said, or you could make your own decision. And the beauty of this was that if you actually bought the outfit and you took it somewhere and you wore it and people didn't like it, you could say, oh, I could blame it on my crowd. My crowd thought it was a great idea, so that's why I bought it. But if people saw your outfit and said, wow, that's a really nice outfit, I like that outfit, you could actually take the full responsibility for it. You could say, my crowd contributed, but I was the one who made the decision. So in that way, you're covered either way. But basically what we have done is that we have decided to outsource our judgment. We used to pride ourselves on our own judgment, on our own capabilities to decide what we were going to do with ourselves, with our lives. And now it's the complete opposite. We don't look internally for this kind of guidance. We look externally for this kind of guidance. That's where we go now to figure out what we're going to do. Our judgment has been outsourced to the crowd. Now the question is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Do we actually become something other than human beings if we decide to outsource our judgment to the crowd? If you think about it, what is a human being? Is a human being a single unit? all by itself? Or is a human being a single unit plus the collective that it's connected to, plus the social network that it's connected to, whether it's a physical social network in person or a social network online? Are we better human beings because we're connected to this social network? Or are we lesser human beings if we decide to outsource some of our judgment to the rest of the world? That's a pretty philosophical question, don't you think? Have we become better human beings if we leverage the rest of the world? I think it depends on our discernment. It depends on whether or not we look at it as a crutch or as assistance. Think of it this way. It's like going back to that Star Trek show. Jean-Luc Picard brings all of his officers into the briefing room, and he asks them to all give their opinions. And of course, Worf is going to say, shoot phasers, Captain. But he brings them all in, and he asks them their opinion, and they give their opinion. But in the end, he makes the decision, and he can decide to do what one or some of his crew, of his officers suggested, or he can do it himself. Now, I think that's the ideal way that human beings should operate. We should take input from our social network, from our social web, from everybody around us, but in the end, we are the ones who need to make the decisions. We need to make sure that we insource judgment to ourselves, but based on all of these inputs that we've taken in. So yes, I think it's great that we are leveraging our social networks, but at the same time, we need to make sure that the ultimate responsibility, the ultimate judgment in the situation resides with us. Because if we don't allow it to reside with us, then what are we as human beings? That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.
Pixels and philosophies merge and mold, a future untold, unseen.